continued focus for the group moving forward will be our approach to sustainability. Increasingly, we're seeing investor and tenant customers demand real estate and real assets that have environmental, social outcomes and initiatives alongside financial returns. For us as a business, we see this as both the right thing to do as it relates to our social licence to operate, as well as the smart thing to do. Especially at this time, we see strong energy efficiency and access to on-site solar and clean energy, lowering our cost of operations and supporting long-term risk-adjusted returns and superior gross asset values over the long term. Across our group, we've had great results in the FY22 period, and we're responding to investor and tenant customers and their appetite for low carbon or net zero carbon products. As a group, we've listened and we've accelerated our net zero carbon target for Scope 1 and Scope 2 emissions where we have operational control, bringing forward our date from 2030 to 2025. Now, our acceleration for 5 years is underpinned by continued investment in 5 key principles of lowering the carbon emissions within real estate. The first, energy efficiency. We continue to invest in energy efficiency and support lower cost of operations within our assets. And we are linking plant and equipment upgrades over the life cycle of our assets to really harness and drive energy efficient outcomes. The second is our continued investment in on-site solar. From FY19 to FY22, we've rapidly increased the amount of solar panels that we are providing, especially in asset classes like industrial and retail, which have very large roofs to accommodate on-site generation. In fact, the 47.2 megawatts of solar installed at June 30, 2022, power the equivalent of about 16,500 homes each year. The other way that we're accessing clean and affordable energy for our business is through direct procurement. In FY22, we engaged the electricity market and struck a partnership with international electricity company Engie and their Australian retail arm here. And pleasingly, that is directly investing in solar and wind projects across the national electricity market in Australia, being Queensland, New South Wales, Victoria and South Australia. The other way that we're thinking about decarbonisation is through the transition away from fossil fuel plant and equipment. We know that in buildings, gas is used for cooking, heating space and the provision of hot water. We're looking at our existing assets and integrating electrification or fuel switching strategies to those underlying assets. And where we're developing new assets, we are looking at all electric plant and equipment, which will be powered by on-site or off-site renewables, operating carbon neutral day one. The final step in our net zero carbon roadmap for those emissions under our operational control would be offsetting. Approximately 12% of our residual emissions come from diesel and gas use within our assets. Where we are unable to electrify or where we know electrification of buildings will take some time linked to strategic asset planning and life cycle of plant and equipment within the underlying asset, we appreciate that a residual offsetting mechanism will need to take place.
What do we mean when we say that we're putting sustainability and value creation at the heart of our decision making? To bring to life some of the targets that Andrew presented, I'll be taking you through a case study of an office asset, which is currently under development. 60 King William Street in Adelaide is 25% owned by the Direct PFA Fund as part of a Charter Hall partnership. It is the largest commercial real estate project in Adelaide CBD. To us, there are 3 main aspects to value creation through sustainability in the development. Beginning with environmental action. As Andrew mentioned, we are accelerating our net zero target for Scope 1 and 2 emissions to 2025. This is 5 years earlier than our previous target. We're proud that 60 King William, when complete, will become Charter Hall's first office development enabled for net zero emissions in operations. This means that it has all-electric plant and climate-friendly refrigerant. Buildings that are all-electric don't use fossil fuels for heating and cooking. With Charter Hall having procured grid-supplied renewable energy for the office sector, the building will be entirely powered by renewable energy. These initiatives mean that the asset is targeting a 6-star Green Star, 5-star Neighbours Energy, and a 6-star Neighbours Waste rating. These are not just industry-leading targets, but world-leading targets. We know that highly rated assets attract quality tenants for the long term because they reduce the operating costs of assets, contribute to tenants' net zero goals, and create a desirable workplace for employees. Secondly, sustained returns at 60 King William. As a business, we believe that creating environmental and social value alongside financial returns drives long-term success. An example of this is the debt for the development, which from May 2022 has been classified as a green loan. To qualify for a green loan, developments must be environmentally sustainable. This directly links environmental outcomes to financial value. Thirdly, community engagement. Health and well-being have been designed into the heart of the building, creating value for investor customers by supporting the attraction and retention of quality tenants. Employers are realising that they can enhance and improve productivity through healthier buildings, perhaps even reducing staff turnover and absenteeism from sickness. There will be many services available for tenants to address both mental and physical health. These include wellbeing programs and content delivered through the building's Charlie smartphone app, as well as a wellness centre and exercise space. With employees increasingly expecting better working conditions that are safe, comfortable, and enjoyable, these amenities are vital to supporting and retaining happy tenants in our assets. We understand that a focus on sustainability helps to deliver long-term sustainable value to our investors, tenants, and communities. 60 King William is a great example of how we're delivering for all of our stakeholders. We'd be delighted to hear from you if you'd like to learn more about sustainability within the direct business. If you have any questions about what Andrew or myself have discussed today, you can email directproperty@charterhall.com.au. Thank you.